Buddha's teachings, a human life arrives with nothing and departs with nothing, so do not be overly greedy. A human life, when we arrive in this world, we are naked, and when we depart, we leave with nothing. We only eat 3 meals a day, and for sleeping we only need a single room, so why cling to such vast desires that only make us perpetually unsatisfied? Excessive desire is the root of all suffering in life. To lessen afflictions, one must first learn how to let go. Understand that letting go here means letting go of greed and attachment, not letting go of one's duties and responsibilities. Sometimes, those who live too sharply, too meticulously, end up worried by every little trivial matter around them. Living with a bit of nonchalance can often bring more joy and happiness. Why? Because those who are too sharp tend to be excessively serious, no matter big or small, seeing everything as critical and thus overthinking until exhausted. Their lives are constantly dominated by petty annoyances, leaving them little room to feel happy or peaceful. Meanwhile, those who live more casually care less about trivial matters, so life feels simple, perhaps even somewhat hasty or rough around the edges, but that very simplicity allows them to discover the true flavor of a peaceful life. Live simply, work practically. Let your days flow by gently, simply, and at ease. In life, humble people are often well-liked, whereas the arrogant and prideful are easily disliked. Although we all understand this, we still frequently stumble. Many invite gossip or conflicts simply by being too sensitive or by meddling in unnecessary matters. In adversity, we must keep our heads high. In favorable or tranquil times, we should stay vigilant and cautious to prevent misfortune when success comes. Always remind yourself to be humble, never show off or become overly excited, otherwise anyone, at some point in life, will encounter dissatisfaction and will need to cultivate patience. From ancient times until now, those who accomplish great things must possess a great spirit and a great patience. Patience does not mean evading or escaping, but rather accumulating inner strength. Those who can endure rarely commit mistakes in a moment of impulse. Kindness is one of humanity's highest virtues. Although kindness cannot give you everything you desire, it ensures that you maintain a peaceful inner self and a happy mindset. Joy is the secret of longevity and youthfulness. People do not stop playing because they grow old. On the contrary, they grow old because they stop playing. A smile is the most wonderful cosmetic, enhancing one's beauty, and is the simplest, quickest way to connect people. Why some faces grow kind and some grow harsh? Why is it that after middle age, some have gentle, benevolent features, while others develop stern, resentful faces? Because one's outer appearance follows one's heart. When the heart is beautiful, the expression becomes beautiful. Those whose hearts are full of love manifest that love in every gesture and action. Meanwhile, those who are always calculating and comparing, even in good times or difficult times, reveal their narrow-mindedness. Such people neither tolerate nor overlook trivial gains or losses, and they become exhausted by their constant schemes. Our forebears had a saying, "Yield one step and the seas and skies open wide." Sometimes stepping back is itself a way of moving forward. When you take a step back, giving in a little, you gain more friends. If advancing another step means losing yourself, it is better to stop. And if you need to retreat to understand yourself, then retreat a few steps or many steps, and it will still be fine. The relative nature of life's values. All the worldly measures of success you strive for are only relative. The concept of future success, as defined by society and humanity, imprisons many people's present lives. What is the meaning of forever chasing illusions, losing yourself in the process, and forgetting to fully live in the present moment? Seeing white as white, black as black, do not try to find white within black or black within white. Recognizing clearly the black and white of life brings peace. Very often, human suffering stems from fear of losing something or someone dear. When you truly lose what has become so familiar, your mind is shaken and you lose your footing. You fall into such suffering that you cannot accept the truth. But truly, one cannot lose what one does not possess. Whatever truly belongs to you will always be yours. Whatever does not belong to you will leave no matter how tightly you cling or beg. Once you realize that certain attachments are not absolutely necessary, and then reduce your demands and dependencies on them, you gradually become freer and happier. Love sincerely, as deeply as you can, but do not let your peace and happiness depend too much on any one person. If you are angry, it means your heart is not yet large enough. If you are anxious, it means your mind is not yet big enough. If you worry, your intelligence is not yet keen enough. If you are grieving, your will is not yet strong enough. If you are depressed, your perspective is not yet positive enough. If you are envious, your own thinking is not yet sufficiently clear or confident. All these afflictions ultimately arise within ourselves. Every time they appear is a chance to look inward, observe our inner state, recognize our own shortcomings, and work to transform them. Anyone who is born human has a certain amount of good fortune, like a waxing moon having its own measure of brightness. If we do not know how to nurture this virtue and instead create negative karma, we will become like the moon waning into darkness, and that is truly sad. But if we cherish and appreciate our radiant moon, allowing our blessings to grow day by day, we will be like the moon from the first day waxing ever brighter. How wonderful is that? Self-determination and living in the present. Our destiny is born within our own mind. Choosing a path means deciding our fate. Do not be overly concerned about the past. Live fully in the present and set your sights on the future. Doing so ensures that your tomorrow will be brighter. When criticized by others, it's all right to feel a bit sad, but do not rush to anger or react blindly. Treat others' criticism as an opportunity to reflect on yourself and correct what needs changing. When you receive praise, it's fine to enjoy a little joy, but do not accept it as absolute truth. Most praise is intended to please, and we should not let such sweet words puff up our ego or vanity. If life were truly nothing but suffering, we would have no time to complain. If it were unbearably miserable, we would lack the strength to lament. If a situation is truly dire, how could we still have the energy to complain and share our misfortune everywhere? Remember, we live for ourselves. Whichever job we do is fine as long as we fulfill our responsibilities. No matter how talented or well-prepared we are, misfortune still occurs naturally. What comes together can still fall apart. There is union and separation, meeting and parting. But most people never want to part. Humans suffer because we want everything to be permanent, whereas life's nature is impermanence. Sometimes, facing the destructive power of impermanence, we feel on the brink of collapse. But if we deeply understand the principle of dependent origination, we will realize we have long been enjoying too many gifts from the universe. Now the universe is merely taking some back to share with others. That is the natural law. Nothing is fixed or permanent. There are also those who ignore others' suffering just to benefit themselves or amuse themselves. So in one person's gain or joy, there often lurks another person's loss or sorrow. Still, there is no need to dwell on the darker side of society because the nature of this world is like that. Learn to let go, and letting go will bring peacefulness to your heart. All sufferings that arise will also subside in the mind. So as your mind is, so shall your experience of life be. Every day, we face many unpleasant things, frustrations, and situations beyond our control. We cannot always prevent them, so it is better to learn to accept them and gradually be at peace with them. Try to cultivate patience, tolerance, and generosity. Strive to see yourself and everyone else with gentler, friendlier eyes. And do not worry too much about failure. Leave the past behind so you can fully concentrate on the present moment. Reopening unhappy memories only buries you in them. Those with big, tolerant hearts do not feel misfortune is unfair. They do not lament or complain about heaven and earth, but remain calm, continually learning and working to overcome difficulties. Hardships can make some people falter or collapse, but they can also inspire courage in others to keep moving forward. Every trial and obstacle in our lives is a precious opportunity to develop resilience, calmness, and the fortitude to achieve greater successes in the future. Life's journey and the path of Dharma. The path of life and the path of spirituality share a critical point. Both require perseverance, patience, and unceasing effort. If someone practices with a mind that is slack, lazy, easily distracted by fame or worldly pleasures, not striving diligently to overcome their unwholesome karma, then that person's practice is as futile as trying to cook sand and expect it to become rice. There is a saying, everything is created by the mind alone. With each passing year, do not run away from your own life. Do not stand still, observe how your mind has changed. People often say, those of the same voice resonate, those of the same nature seek each other. Hence, the most important thing is to find the vitality within ourselves, so we no longer overvalue external things. Whatever the circumstances, let us welcome them openly and calmly. It is ignorance that leads to suffering, confusion, worry, greed, anger, arrogance, delusion, jealousy, and fear. Illusions stand in contrast to ignorance, yet also interconnect with it. Maintaining the middle way means neither leaning to one extreme nor the other, neither starving the body nor indulging in craving, focusing on the balanced path. Once you recognize illusions as illusions, all troubles vanish. You then naturally feel love and compassion, for their essence is the same. With such realization, all hatred dissolves. Even if someone treats us cruelly, we can understand them. And once the door of wisdom opens, only compassion remains. In meditation, if wandering thoughts arise, wisdom helps us discern truth and differentiate phenomena. Yet that very distinction between self and others, between what is and what isn't, can lead us astray. Humans are often bound by emotions, and greed is the force that pulls us away from truth in the cycle of rebirth from birth to death. We fear illness and death, but that fear only increases our ignorance and dread. Therefore, we must cut off all illusions. Once free from illusions, life itself will be liberated from confinement, returning to purity, calm, and peace. The Four Noble Truths. The first truth, suffering is unavoidable, it follows us like a shadow. The second truth, the cause of suffering is ignorance, greed, anger, sorrow, anxiety, fear, despair, and attachment to self. The third truth, the cessation of suffering is wisdom, understanding the truth about oneself and about life. This wisdom and insight bring an end to suffering and give rise to peace. The fourth truth, the path to end suffering is the Noble Eightfold Path, sustained by mindfulness and right awareness, leading to concentration and wisdom, thereby liberating us from all suffering. What is that path? It is 8 correct ways of living, seeing reality as it is, thinking rightly, contemplating rightly, speaking rightly, acting rightly, right livelihood, rightly settling the mind, and rightly guiding our actions. Dharma is like a spider spinning its web. Nature creates countless wonders in this world, limitless and infinite. Whenever our mind harbors a desire, we believe we will be happy if it is fulfilled. But when that dream is realized, we often feel emptiness. Do you know why? Because desire, once fulfilled, loses its driving force like a long-held wish that disappears the moment it comes true, leaving an emptiness in its wake, like water passing through sand. Thus, nothing is guaranteed in life, is it not so? Exactly. Forget the illusory desires of this world. Forget even your own life and death, for such worries bring no benefit. If you fear the disappearance of your life, begin by denying the permanence of that life. Find the deeper self hidden within. Countless people in this world suffer because of material hardships, lack of food or clothing, enduring injustice. Many more suffer mentally. If, in despair, you consider plunging into an abyss, why not pause and notice the beauty of the surrounding landscape first? Anything excessive, even joy, can lead to suffering. Therefore, keep to the middle way and you will find infinite tranquility. Guidance for household life. Please teach us what is important for us as lay practitioners. Above all, equality in marriage is paramount. Only when a husband and wife love each other and live in harmony can a family be full of vitality and prosperity. Such prosperity brings happiness to everyone in this world. A husband and wife's union must go beyond mere physical desire or material needs. A wife is part of her husband's being. A husband should give her respect and preserve her honor, never humiliating her publicly. A wife should not act contrary to the virtues of a proper woman, and a husband must live up to the moral standards of a husband, avoiding all bad habits. Every decision a husband makes should consider his wife's wishes. Loving your husband is a wife's responsibility. Regard your husband's family as your own. Play the role of a safe harbor, offering affection, care, and concern for every member of his family, respecting each other as honored guests. When you trust each other like that, the supreme truth will be yours, by the grace of the Blessed One, Shakyamuni Buddha. Please tell us how to walk this path you have shown. Associate with good people. Those who cannot focus on right mindfulness easily lead you into laziness and complacency. Creating supportive conditions for practice will keep your inner state pure and unblemished. One's profession should also align with the Dharma. Whatever job you do, whether in trade or any daily activities, first understand it clearly, then devote your effort to doing it well. Even small tasks such as cooking rice or boiling water should not be dismissed as trivial. See them as opportunities to care for yourself, your spouse, and your children. For any meritorious opportunity in life, do not be selfish. Do not live only for yourself. Share your happiness, success, and wealth with others. Avoid gambling and drinking. Be humble, courteous, amiable, and upright. Whenever there is a chance to offer alms to the monks or engage in meditation practice, do so to calm your worries and difficulties. Ultimately, your heart will sense the highest tranquility. You must remember that each morning, when we open our eyes to the dawn of a new day, we should be keenly aware of what we need to do that is crucial. People often forget gratitude. We must imprint in our hearts the things we should be grateful for, like the trees, flowers, wind, water, air, which do not belong to us. We should be grateful to everything and carry that gratitude in our hearts. Living and thinking in that way will bring many rewards. It is not useless. If everything were useless, would we not all be sick by now? And if we were sick, death would not be far away, right? Holding gratitude in our hearts is like a gorgeous flower blooming proudly in this world. Wishing you a peaceful new day filled with happiness.